Okay, so at the moment, I'm really into doing slowcore stuff. So I've done an acoustic slowcore album under the artist name Faded Moments. And the thing I really liked about that is that it's all incredibly simple and minimal, which is huge for me. And I really like that. You get to just play slowly, play minimal chord progressions, and you get to just enjoy that space. And the other thing I liked about it as well is that you could do a very simple slow chord progression, and you could kind of do sort of singing, which perfectly suits me, which is mumbling and slightly out of tune, which is great. I'm quite good at mumbling out of tune singing. Some might say that's my forte. And I love it. It's kind of like in the shoegaze area where it's like, are they even singing? Sometimes you can definitely hear they're singing. You're like, whoa, emotions, man. So yeah, I really like it because we get to do stuff like, sorry, I'm just looking where I can do this. Stuff like this, where it's like, just got my phone down. That was just kind of improvised, but you kind of get the point. It takes me back to the days when I started writing songs in my bedroom with my brother's old acoustic guitar. And I used to record these things on this old tape machine. I'd record all my demos on here. In fact, here we go. Still got the old tape in there. Here we go. Riffs. Oh, is it focusing? Come on, focus. Yeah, it says riffs on it. Didn't need to see that. I was just holding the tape up to the camera. Great. Really, it's really wonderful stuff. But the thing that I really like about it is it's kind of like it enables you to marry so many lovely things, like the kind of like slow, the grungy strumming of 90s rock. Tick. You get to bring in some fruity sevenths and ninths, jazzy. Tick. So it's not just a case of like fifth chords. You can use lovely extended chords. Major sevenths, major nines, minor nines, etc. You don't often hear dominants in there. I mean, sometimes you do, but and I really like that. They're kind of. I love a major 7 chord because it just gives it this like wonderful sound, this like immediately nostalgic. You've got, although it's a major chord, it feels sad. And that's what's great about it. You can write this music, this slowcore or sadcore music. You can write it in a major key, but it sounds sad. I think that's really cool. And I have been really enjoying that. And I've kind of done a few different artists in this style, kind of exploring it. So I've got Faded Moments is sort of this acoustic slowcore stuff, which is great. And also I've got this sort of piano slowcore, which is what's it called? What's the band called again that I've created? To Be Invisible. That's it. To Be Invisible. Very sad and very slow and very minimal. It's just piano, few takes on the piano, few takes of vocals, and some drums. A couple of notes here. I'm not adjusting timing, I'm not adjusting tuning, and I'm generally processing it so it sounds like it's coming through some kind of tape machine. I'm not worrying about peaking, I'm just enjoying the process of recording and creating songs, and that's where I'm at the moment, this wonderful world of inspired by slowcore and ambient and rock. Obviously we've got the distortion pedals because we were back in the day. You'd crank your ramp up to the point where you'd get natural distortion, and that's kind of it. It's like, why do I need to have a perfect mix? Why does it all need to be recorded perfectly? I say perfectly, air quotes perfectly. I don't buy into that necessarily, and I haven't bought into that for a long time. Even with my trailer music, I would be working with a lot of my tracks peaking, and other trailer composers would be, Richard, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm naughty, which is fun, which is fine. But I'm very much enjoying this slowcore element, and it allows me to bring in. Well, it basically just allows me to write songs quickly, which is my happy place. Writing music quickly, without judgment, without criticism, and just enjoying it. And that's it. And it's really, really cool, really good fun, really freeing. And I've also got, like I said, I've also been writing some slowcore stuff with more instrumental with my old electric guitar. Now, I got this when I was about 16. I bought it because I liked the look of it. And I didn't really think about the sound of it. I was just like, I'm going to look pretty cool holding this guy. And yeah, I guess I did look kind of cool holding it, but it's got a floating bridge, which drives me up the wall for the tuning. It's got a humbucker, but it doesn't sound like a humbucker. It basically sounds like another single coil pickup. And I think from the sound of it, you're actually switching between two different single coils. I think that's what it is, because it doesn't, even though it's got a double coil, it doesn't give you that rich warmth of a humbucker. It's still got the sort of bright tinniness, which used to drive me up the wall, because I didn't understand it when I bought it. I was like, why does my guitar not sound like my friend's Gibson? Well, it's not a Gibson for one. But yeah, so I've been writing stuff on that, and I've just been enjoying it. And this is the great thing about this whole process of just writing. So I wrote 10 slowcore tracks, or slowcore-inspired electric guitar tracks, instrumental. And it's not just electric guitar. There's some piano and Celeste playing top-line melodies, inspired by Mogwai's Young Team, actually. I think the track's called Lucy. That's been in my subconscious since I heard it when I was a teenager. And I started writing that, and I realised, oh, wait a second, these 3 songs I've written, they don't sound like slowcore. They sound like old indie. So I moved those into a different folder, and they're becoming another album. And it's just this whole process of like, oh, wait, if you just let yourself create, you suddenly produce this huge body of work. Professionally, as a composer, we would hone a track until it was to the publisher's standards. Brilliant. But now in this instance, I'm the publisher, and I've got very low standards with regard to the final product, because you know what, it's I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's kind of like a fart. I feel like some of this stuff is better out than in. And I've just got to get this music out of me always. Otherwise I kind of feel like I'm going to explode. And I felt like that, even writing trailer music and stuff like that. So it's just awesome. So I'll keep you posted as to what stuff is going live. Faded Moments, the album is called Memories on Loop. That's coming out mid-September 2024, just in case I never actually release this video, or at least I release it late. I've also got some experimental ambient. This is another thing. So having a tape machine was great, but when I first started working on a DAW, a computer, I was using Cakewalk Pro. This is ages ago. And what I would do is I would record some guitar playing, and then I would put it in there, and I'd just chop it up. chop it, reverse it, and create these loop beds, basically, these that would kind of develop into this sort of ambience. And I've done an album of that. It's kind of like experimental ambient, I would say, or at least ambient that is formed on found sound and loops. It's all very short and it's all very sketchy. I don't mean sketchy like, or a geezer. I mean sketchy like a quick pencil sketch. And that is under the artist name of Those Distant Lights. And that has been an artist name that I've had in my mind for ages for an ambient artist, and I've finally been able to use it, which is awesome. So that's what's going on at the moment. I mean, I've got, how many piano tracks have I got? I've got 7 piano ones, and I've just written the 10th instrumental Slowcore one for the electric guitar. So that's going to be another artist name, obviously, which would be what's it going to be again? The End of Our Story. That's it. Bit sad, but it's kind of like I wanted that. It's instrumental slowcore stuff. I wanted that to be the vibe of the music, like it could be the end credits, playing the end credits, not glorious end credits, but slightly sad end credits. You know, as you're sort of saying goodbye to a good friend, not like they're dying, but just like they're going and you won't see them for a while. The end of a chapter type of thing. You know, because in life we have all these chapters ending and new chapters starting, and it always feels like a tiny loss, even when it's a small chapter like, that's not a small chapter, finishing university, but something like that, or finishing a job where even if it's a job you don't like, you're closing a chapter on something and you're a bit like, sometimes there's still a bit of sadness, even though you're like, yes, moving on. So yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. I've also started. So those of you who know my trailer stuff will know that I produced a lot of sort of dark string-based horror and thriller music using my trusty old violin, hello, and my trusty old cello, which is hanging up on the wall just out of a shot. I love doing it because I'm playing it badly and I don't care. And obviously because it's horror, it's awesome, and everyone's like, ooh, that's horrible. Wow, that's going to work. So I've just started a little project with that, which is, I guess, kind of like emotive, homemade string quartet, if that's a thing. I don't know. I'm just letting myself play and have fun, which I think what this is all about as well. This me chatting is me playing and having fun and kind of seeing me in the process, engaging the process whilst I'm doing it, I think.